irritating with the echo, but you can hear me. So, good morning and welcome to my talk. I'm really glad that so many came in this morning hours. And to be honest, I'm a little nervous. I give this talk many times, but it's the first time I'm giving it in English. So if you see me struggling a little, please feel free to help me out if I don't find any word. So today I want to talk about future scenarios with the little hard to pronounce title Dystopia, Utopia, Eutopia, and how we can shape the future. Or futures, plural. It's not their future. So, how you already said, I'm Eckert. I'm a creative director for design, animation, and for immersive experiences. And I'm a speaker for future thinking, artificial intelligence, and I give workshops for creatives and showreel workshops. And what you get today is I want to dive you first into the dystopia and explain you why this dark and twisted futures dominate our stories and how they actually can shape our mind to bring real world change. And I also want to show you why utopias, these bright visions, are so underrepresented in our bookshelves and everywhere, and also why we need them now more than ever. And I want to introduce you to Eutopia, the little cousin of these futures, seldom known, and I want to make with you a little practice in making future scenarios. We only have little time, so I'll start right now with Dystopia. Dystopia, the word dystopia comes from the Greek word dys, bad, and topos, place. It's really self-explaining. Fun fact, it's also a medical term, so when many illness, disease come together, it's also called dystopia. So when your doctor says there's a dystopian situation, it's sure not good. But let's start with a little picture. And let's just look at it. I don't know you, but when I see it, the world is collapsing, everything is wasted, a wonderful sundown. I feel a little cozy feeling in my heart. It's oh, you not? But why, if not, why are our bookshelves, our Netflix accounts, our movie theaters are full of dystopian futures? They're not so bright. So, for example, one big book, do you know 1984? I wonder what George Orwell would say now about what we're having in our pockets, what we share online, and what we give for free from our privacy. So it's the total observation, and it's a dystopian story. Who of you knows this picture? From which movie? Which one is it? Blade Runner, yes. It's a really visual masterpiece, and it's a picture for a dark, polluted, sad future with some kind of human-like robots, and it's often used in the visual style. When you look at this flying car, you often see it in concept cars that they want to hide the wheels, and even if the cars are not flying yet, you see this concept in many other concept cars. And of course the visual style in many movies, the neon city and the polluted, sad version of the cities. And of course The Walking Dead, it's some genre who's never getting dead because it's coming again and again and again. But in this case, it's not about zombies, it's about the depths of the human mind and how the people interact with each other. So they say it. But I think it's about zombies too. And what if I ask you, what do you think in a playbook for a real bad dystopia for beginners? What do we need for this fictional dystopia? So I forgot that. I talk about fictional dystopias, not about real one most of the time. So, what do you think do we need to draw a bad future?
Like a dictatorship.
A dictatorship, good.
Or
Anarchy, yes. Great.
Pollution.
Pollution, yes.
Natural disasters.
Yeah, I wrote this too. Let's see. Oppression, dictatorship is one of this. Loss of freedom, environmental destruction. We can imagine this very well. Social injustice or technological control, like in Terminator or other ones. A big disaster. But why are we so fascinated with fictional dystopian worlds? That is something I ask myself every time. We have really, really bad, disasters. We have the climate change. We have real wars, and we have the economic crisis. So why do we flee in even better versions of the future? What is the exciting thing about this? What do you think?
Fear.
Fear. Fear brings us to even more fear.
We can imagine much worse things. I mean, we are hopeless, and then you imagine what happens if it is even worse.
Okay, yes, that's
Something like that.
one piece of this, yes.
I would say in those fictions usually there is a person fighting against this world and we recognize ourselves in this.
Yeah,
powerful
the
person.
big hero.
It's hope actually.
Yeah, right. I have a little beginner guide here too. You said it. It's you have a conflict as a main driver, but you have mostly one person or group who have straightforward solutions, and it's often violence, to be honest. And you can imagine in a world who is everything really complex, you can think that easy solution would be better, but they are not. But in a fictional context, you can live this. Or return to simple values. For example, when you write on your presentation and you have a deadline, when the zombie is knocking on the door, that's not that important anymore. So that's it could be a fantasy for that. Reflection on your current issues in a fictional context also could help you with the real problems in the real world. And explanation of the human depths and darker sides in a fictional context. Therefore, we have many horror movies and not only disaster movies, because there's also a need for that. And the lack of resources as an opportunity. We have the MCBW, the Munich Creative Business Week, who has this topic also distribution as a chance. And when you have really less, you can imagine what we can do now with our possibilities better. So let's switch to Utopia. Utopia is the same from the Greek. It's none, and topos, place. And you will say, what is a non-place? In this context, it means it's a perfect society, it's a perfect world, but it's not reachable. You can try to get there, but it's so wholesome, so perfect, that it's not possible to get there completely. But you can try it. And how I said, the utopias are really underrepresented. And in this part, I always ask, when you look in your bookshelf, when you look at your series you watch, do you have any utopias for us? It's really hard, I know that, but please be free to share it. No?
Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah, good example. We have a conflict, the Space Federation, but there also some war from outside. So, but the most of it's hopeful.
Barbie.
Barbie?
Yeah.
Yes, that depends of the point of view where you see it on the time. But you got a good point. It's time driven. When you watch this, when you watch the old Barbie now and before. So Utopia is always zeitgeist. It means it depends where you are born. When I past, Utopia can look like this, the closer past, a technological future. Utopia can also be like this. You know that? It's the land of milk and honey. Hopefully we don't have any experts here. We have this fried fish and milk honey and some fried Händel, chicken and sausages and the fountain of youth. But this picture comes from a time where you didn't live long and you have not much food and you die early, and so you desire such a vision of a utopian future. But it also can be like this when you look in the industrialization. Big roads, the monorail is a famous picture, skyscrapers, industrial, next to the city. So that's a time where this picture was hope and give us a good future, but not anymore, I would say. It also could be like this, flying taxis, also a monorail. I always find this. And I didn't realize this, but this guy has a really long arm. So prosthetics with robotics, maybe. And yeah, you could make this longer, but you also can make the arm longer. I don't know why. But when I look at the closer past or now, the futures are greener now again. We have a desire for green futures, for natural futures. So what do you think do we need for a beginner's guide, for a scrapbook, for a good utopia? What would you say?
No wars, no conflicts.
Yes. That would be a big piece of it.
Abundance and prosperity concerning resources.
Yes. That's a good point. I wrote this down too.
Equality for different kinds of people.
Yes. But let's see this too. Equality, the first point. Peace, we had this. Wealth, prosperity. You read my lines before? No. Education for everyone. Health. Creative development. This one depends on the society you live in. Creative development as an individual is not everywhere the first point on this list. Democracy, participation, solidarity, and in this version it's not achievable in the full way. It's desirable. And the next one, we have some utopian fails. We have cities who are built on the scrap, but who are now dumped in Turkey, in deserts, in China. It's easy to make, with goodwill, bad cities. That's really easy, it seems. Or green growth. It's really easy we have limited resources, we have a limited world. So the next thing would be, okay, let's make it a green growth. But here you see on the pictures, the money grows. But when we be honest and look at this, you can easily slip into greenwashing, what is not so good for our utopian future. And the other things is, how is Christa Lindner call it? Technologie offen, being open for technology. But I think technology won't solve our society problems. So don't get me wrong, I love technology, but it's not the solution for everything. So let's come to Utopia. Who from you heard from the word Utopia? Two? Maybe the team here? No, Utopia is not that well known, but it's also from the word, Greek word, it's oi, good, and topos, place. So in this case it means more like a real utopia who is settled in the now and in the present. It's not a future, it's something we can do for good right now. So I could show you a real nice picture from a city, but I love to show you more projects like this one. It's the Kartoffelkombinat. It grows food directly in front of Munich and solidaric, and everybody helps with it, and makes food really close and not long distances you deliver it. Food sharing. It's a big problem wasting food. So you can participate and help don't wasting food. Just go to the site and save some food. Or maybe making just the city a little greener so that we don't get heated up that much. Or changing the consume pyramid, like using what you get, sharing, repairing, lending, swapping, and buying used. And the last point is selling it new. But okay. So that's the theoretical part. Now you can stand up if you want. So you get a little. So if you look at this room, in the left corner behind, we're heading to a dystopian future. On the right is the Utopia. And on the other axis is like, I'm responsible for that, would be here, or the others are responsible for that. And it's not about the truth, it's about your feeling. That's the thing which is important. So please place yourself.
That's what we think of the current situation.
Where we're heading to.
Where we're heading to.
And it's about a feeling. It's not, okay, that's the facts and you have to be, that's not what it's about.
So this side would be dystopia, and then this side would be
Yeah.
utopia.
Yeah, and
And then we have
And then me, and then others. Is
yeah, are responsible.
okay.
Yeah, let's see. Just get a little hint how you feel right now.
So wait a minute, who is there? Me is there, right?
Me is here by me.
And he's here.
Yeah, you're responsible for your life. Or the other takes the action.
I'm a little bit towards others.
I would be more like this.
Yeah, upper right, me, Utopia.
Okay, do you want to? Is everybody placed? Okay. I just go to the corners and why are you there?
I guess mostly because, as everybody knows, change begins within oneself. So if I can change, I see kind of like this nucleus. If I change, if I have a family, my family will change, and then this family will share the values with friends and extended family, and then it kind of spreads from there. So it kind of, you first change your small society, then it will trickle down to the others.
Sounds great, like a snowball effect, and yeah, in a good way. So where is the dystopia? Where is the dystopian team? Here. Do you want?
Sounds very negative now, but
Maybe it's better after our session.
I don't know. I feel like yes, change starts with you, of course, but I try to change. I do my best, and still I don't see much effort outside sometimes, like for sustainability, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exhausting after a while. So at some point you stop trying, and then if you don't see this change, of course, maybe you see it. But that's why I think dystopia is on the way.
So, yeah, it's easy to feel like this way, but we are together here for better futures. So maybe the next. Does anyone want to say something why he's standing there where he's standing? I don't want to.
Sure. So I try to stand in the middle on the bottom.
Yes.
I think that it's not me, it's others who are either getting us into dystopia or utopia. The politicians and the military that has an impact on the world, mostly.
Okay. So, thank you for that. But now I want to introduce you to positive and shadow imagination. If you want, you can already seat, or you can stand up. What you want. It's just a quick introduction. Everybody's tired already.
Yes.
But you have to stand up in 2 minutes again. So positive and shadow imagination is a great method to build up future scenarios. And it's pretty easy. And I start always with a picture like, imagine that we settle on Mars. And you can, we made a little settlement there in future. And you can imagine this in 2 ways, in a positive and in a shadow way. The positive way would be like, what gives me hope? What are the short and long-term positive effects? Positive synergies, what is desirable? And who benefits from it? Like in this example is, we build up really great technology on Mars. We change society there. The things we share there, we are also sharing with the Earth, and problems are solved here too. So we get an interstellar human race. So there could be many possible benefits and things. What do you find particularly exciting? It's a mind game where you draw a future as exactly as possible in this scenario. And of course, it could be also get everything that can get wrong. For example, the people who live there, they're surrounded by death. So there's space, you can survive outside the settlement. They develop psychological problems, they start hating the Earth because we have so much and they have so less. They're starting war, atom bombs, everything is destroyed, nobody survives. So that's it. But it's normally we make a little roundup after this, because when you think in such a dystopian way, your mind starts to change and say, no, we have so much here. It won't go this way. We can make it different. So I have a little future a message from a little blue guy for the next for the future. How is it called? The future scenario we are building up now. I hope it's loud enough. Let's see. No, it's not. We need a little sound. And it's a real message from the future. It's not something I built up here. So it's really important.
The connection in the future is not the good one.
Oh yeah.
So, because it's still...
Okay, let's try.
Alright, let's see.
May-
Is it? You know?
If not, I have to.
Okay. We can
So,
start again.
okay. Let's see what he says.
Greetings, friends from the past. It's important that I have your full attention. Andrew will divide you into 2 groups. One group will imagine your best possible utopian future, and the other will create the worst dystopia you could possibly head toward. Keep in mind that both teams are equally important in guiding you toward a good future. One more thing. When the timer rings, your teams will have exactly 1 minute to present your results. Good luck, and see you in the future.
Yeah, it's lip synchronization is not possible in future, but don't mind that. So I wanted to separate in two groups, how it's already said, and we have two boards where you build up a future scenario. And I think here's Team Utopia and Team Dystopia. And keep in mind, both sides are important. So if you have questions, now would be the time.
For life on Mars.
Just what you want, what your group desires, just a good or a bad future, to make it simple today.
So what events would be in that kind of future?
You decide.
Oh, okay. So
It could be re-election of some people you like or not. Or it could be technological disaster or really inventions who bring us further. It really you decide. There's no wrong or right. So I would just say open this one, Utopia, and Dystopia. That's Dear dystopian team, the stage is yours. 1 minute.
Yeah, I can do so. So basically we have several likely scenarios ranging from like biological or natural things like viruses, new ones, or climate change obviously, but then also political things like world wars, or I mean Trump is representative of, I guess, regimes of any kind of totalitarian politicians that might not like having opposition. And obviously also natural, like gene mutation in terms of, I don't know, radioactive waste, or the mere fact that waste is being dumped into rivers or seas, that might change the biome within those seas and create mutations. But then obviously also things from outer space, maybe aliens at some point, asteroid collisions because they're still moving through space, and solar flares, which would be a big thing if it would hit all the electronics, and every means of communication would be moot, and people couldn't communicate or get emergency services if they need them. And that would obviously end in a catastrophe, because then people would kind of fight for their survival basically. And what do we still have here? Extinction of the species because of climate change, obviously, because many species already went extinct. And I feel like many things are a result of climate change, because we also have food and resource shortages because we're using oil, but at some point some plants will not grow. I recently watched a documentary about a lake in, unfortunately I forgot where exactly it was, but it was in the Middle East, which
Disappeared.
Yeah, which has disappeared, exactly.
Yeah. But this was for the connections. Thank you very much. I know you have Now we come to a little lighter.
Does someone want to present? Okay. Yeah, overall I would think it's, yeah, we have, of course, environment is a big thing, green growth, sustainable food for everyone. I really loved one language, so everyone can communicate with everyone, no matter what the language that they are speaking. Health, night train, diversity, images, accessibility, strong community, also local community, to be not lonely or feel lonely. I think happiness is a big factor, which includes safety, no weapons, aging, dignified aging, housing for everyone, peace, biodiversity, veggie future, depending on who you are, maybe, happy animals, of course, and no natural disasters, and fair management of resources. But it was really, I think, really hard to find something specific, you know, what can we do now, at least in my case. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
So let's sit 1 minute again. Okay. It's nearly over. Time. So thank you so much for your participation. I don't know if you're proud of yourself. I am, but normally we make this in 4 hours minimum, so, and make a little roundup. What I got there is you have aliens, asteroids, and Trump in one sentence field. And here it's food and happiness, everybody can understand everybody, equality, fairness. So normally you make some more specific futures, but you did a really great job at making this fascinating, diverse scenarios. So I think the network part is now to you to bring together your futures and bring together your networking, and hopefully your mood is lit up with the utopias and you can merge these futures in a realistic way. So, oh, by the way, the method I didn't bring up by myself. I learned it at Speculative Futures. It's also like a little bit like CreativeMornings. We are around the globe, and I'm in the chapter of Munich. But for this one, just look up Speculative Futures. And thank you.